Morning, guys, and thanks for clicking in. It's supposed to be an episode of Mike's Bites, but it's more, I think what they call a video diary kind of entry. I'm trying to stick with some of the things I've been learning about this stuff, like be consistent, and I said every 2 weeks, and I gotta have something every 2 weeks. Let's see now. It's 10 after 6. It's Sunday, the 26th of April. The puppies are up laying around there someplace. They've all had their morning cookies. Nancy's still in bed. That woman could sleep through anything, I can tell you. And myself, I'm still like that guy in, when I was in CFB Baden with the snowballs going off. You hear that click before the siren starts. You're always awake for that. It doesn't matter how tired or drunk you are, you just, click. Well, time to put on the suit and go play war. Yeah. Actually, this past week or so has been quite a trip down memory lane, actually. Yeah, for good or bad, I guess. It's been a bit of a rough week, like I said. It's, the crisis is having it's not really having an effect. You still go out and you do your job. You just take extra precautions. The social isolation. We've been keeping pretty much to ourselves for years, so it's not that big a deal. But what I wanted to talk about this week was the emotional effect this is going to have on people. And basically from the fallout. Right now we're all, good for us. We're dealing with it. Some of us are a little ticked off because we're dealing with it, but that's politics for you. No, but afterwards, when everything gets back to the old normal and people start getting back on with their lives and, ignoring other people whose lives may not be getting back to normal because they're part of that 90% of the economy, small businesses and self-employed people with dreams. Discovering their dreams aren't going to come true, at least not anytime soon, and, having to deal with all that introspection. People have to take long, hard looks at themselves and realize they're not the people they thought they were. Yeah, I've had to go through it myself. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because I was kind of hoping I could help people get prepared for it, get over it, deal with it. Let me tell you a story. I was not always the happy, sexy sexagenarian you see before you. No. Really. I'm 60 years old. Happy-go-lucky? Yeah. Sexy? Well, what can I tell you, eh? I don't always see myself that way. I was, for most of my life, a angry fella. I'm frustrated. July 1987, standing at the bar at the senior NCO's mess. Here was this young, Canadian artillery sergeant. He was about to live his dream. He had a plan. He was going to leave the army. He was going to get a truck drive the world, North America, for about 5 years. Figuring that after 5 years I would have had enough of it. Then I was going to go back to school and then get a career that meant something, had meaning. And then, because good, meaningful jobs are well-paying jobs, I was going to buy myself a nice little cottage by the lake And then when the world started going to hell, because it will sooner or later, he was going to just be able to sit back with the woman of his dreams and put away at his what I call put away at my distractions until the time came. That was the plan. That was the dream. But I wasn't very well prepared for it, because there's deeper down I had a more important dream, at least something. I had lessons to learn. So anyways, a few of the guys that said, Mike, why are you giving up? Why are you quitting the army? Why would you turn your back on the regiment? And why would you throw away that pension? Army's a good life. You're a good soldier. I didn't think so. I thought that every time I tried something, I always failed at it. Got up the ranks as far as I did, despite it, or in spite of it. So anyways, they said, Mike, you're going to be miserable on Civvy Street. And I thought about it. And I thought, well, they might have a point, but then again, they might not. So I threw my mug out at, going away party. It's Army. And I was supposed to give a little bit of a speech. And I couldn't think of anything. So out of my head, I said, you guys don't need to worry about me. I'm a survivor because the Army taught me to survive. Taught you guys how to survive. And I'm confident if I can survive, I can succeed at anything I try, no matter the circumstances. Yeah, looking back, I realized, I had the confidence of a fool back then. Yeah, you're young yet, you'll learn, eh? Anyways, I kind of come to the conclusion because of that little speech there that, sometimes people fail because they fail to plan. But, a lot of times they plan to fail. We just do it subconsciously. And I think part of it's got to do with these different paradigms that go off in our heads, or run around our heads. Things like, authority should be trusted, but it can't be trusted. Expert opinions are the latest truth, but they're often wrong because sooner or later somebody comes up with the truer truth. How about this one? Money is the root of all evil, and you can't have enough of it. And, one of my personal favorites is, you're not going to be happy unless you're following your dreams. But a man is not a man unless he gives up his dreams to support his family. Yeah. So, Anyways, 3 years later, there I was, curled up in a ball in my mom's living room. I'd gone through about a half a dozen jobs. None of them worked out. Back then, truck driving was not always an easy business. Anyways, I tried going back to school. I tried going back to school with no money, no time, no plan. And so it didn't work out. And I just recently broke off my engagement with somebody. It didn't end very well. It was my own fault. I didn't want to be engaged, and I didn't want to say no to her. And sooner or later, when things build until the obvious is the obvious, and you got face the consequences. I'll tell you, somebody had put a gun in front of me. I don't know. Glad they didn't. But, you got to hit bottom before you can start going back up again. Anyways, what started to turn it around was something my mom said while I was laying there. She was saying, never thought Mom was an easygoing person. She loved me and she wanted the best for me, but she had difficulty expressing it, I think. I had difficulty expressing it back to her. Those family dynamic things. You know, where do you think I got that idea about you got to sacrifice your dreams for support your family? Like I said, but she did, and you know, I'm glad of it. But she looked at me and she said, almost out of character, at least to me it was out of character. She said, well, Mike, you know, maybe now you can let yourself be happy. You know, it wasn't the, you know, I see the light, I see the light. No, but it did kind of dawn on me that she was right. You know, I realized at the time I had spent a good part of my life making myself miserable. You know, to me, I think the feeling comes first. And what I mean by that is that in our subconscious, we're taught that we gotta see the world a certain way and we gotta feel about it a certain way. And believe it or not, we go through life proving that feeling, proving the world is the way we see it. You say the world is all roses. And so we go out and we find roses. You know, the world's going to hell, and hey, just get on the internet. You'll find lots of reasons to believe the world's going to hell. And, you know. But anyways, I realized that, you know, I was making myself miserable. And it was up to me to do something about it. Or not. You know, it was my choice. But it took a while to figure out just exactly how to do that. How to let yourself be happy. Because I was still thinking, well, if I had this, or if I did that, or if I was this kind of guy, or, you know, if that person didn't do that, and, you know, then everything would be just fine. You know, so we struggled. I met up with Nancy. Smartest thing I ever did. But we struggled. You know, a couple of years later, I was bankrupt. We were living in my folks' basement. It was either that or the van. And, you know, you went and see somebody with a strong character, didn't even faze her. You know, I figured she was going to say, hey, see you later, loser. I can't deal with this anymore. No, but she stuck around. And I'm glad she did. And even after the bankruptcy, I just, you know, picked myself up, got myself another job, carried on. We struggled with money. You know, I always say that you want to be self-employed. Yeah, you got a chance you might make some money at it. But, you know, most of the time, those who can stick with it more than a few years, you'll make enough to get by, but that's as far as you're going to go. At least that's been my experience. And again, maybe I'm just I go through life proving that. You know. But we've been struggling. My cottage by the lake is a 3-story walk up in Lakeshore Village, but hey, it's a good place. You know. Anyways, over the years, you kind of things just got easier, and I don't mean materialistically easier, physically easier. Easier, you know, and you know, one day you just wake up and you say, hey, you know, I'm a happy guy. You know, you get your moments. You know, things get tough. People tick you off. Oh, I still got the temper of a redhead. That I've been learning that keep it to myself, but. You keep it to yourself, but you don't internalize it. You find a time and a place to let it go. You find a hobby or distraction or something, and you know, to let that impulse, what do they call it, impulsive behavior, whatever. You learn to kind of flatten out the curve. Maybe that's something. Hey, maybe that's something we can learn from all this. You know, you flatten out the curve. Anyways. You know, a lot of people's dreams are going to be shattered because of this virus and the common economic contraction. I've been through a couple of them. Probably not as bad as this one's going to be, but you know, we've survived them. You know, maybe what I should have said is, you know, if I can survive, I will survive. What I do with it, well, that's another story. But that's what I wanted people to know. It was my message. You know, life is what it is. You know, and how you deal with it's entirely up to you. You know, but I can tell you, if you know you can succeed, if you know what you want to succeed at. And for me, that's, like I said, it's the feeling. You want to feel what it feels like to succeed. And as far as I can tell, you're feeling happy. And so if you can figure out a way to be happy, no matter what your dreams are or whether they're turning out the way you want them or not, if you can figure out you can be happy, just being that way. Like, what's that Buddha say there? You know, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. I really believe that. You know, suffering is a choice. You know, we have our ups and downs. You know, and most of the time we survive them, until we don't. But like I said, if you can if you can allow yourself to be happy when you're ready to be happy, and you know, you may have to learn a few lessons, and it might take some time, but you know, hey, it can happen. You know, then you will be happy. And like I said, as far as I'm concerned, that's succeeding. So, you know, usually we're supposed to end these talks with, so what do you think? Well, I'm not going to ask you what you think. You know, but I do hope you think about what I've said. And hey, we'll see you on the other side. We'll see you on the other side. Anyways, you know, be safe. Have a great day, everyone. Now, we'll be the heroes of your own stories. Thank you.